What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Altcoin Buzz. Today we are going to talk about a $1 million Bitcoin. Is it even feasible? Is it possible? Where does this conversation come from? Why does it keep coming up? And yeah, let's dive in. So this is something that's been discussed over the years by countless individuals in Bitcoin. And it's not just people who are overly excited. It is actually mathematicians, people who understand monetary policy, and then there's, not all of them are going to be fiat bankers that are going to say this, but you have overly ambitious expectations, and you have some people who make over high predictions that end up coming true. So in this case, more recently, John McAfee, if you don't know John McAfee, he's from McAfee antivirus software. He's also very big into Bitcoin mining. And if you haven't already done so, I do recommend that you follow John McAfee on YouTube here. Obviously, John McAfee. So you can find him by his name. He's got 46,000 subscribers. He's also on Twitter. You can find him on Twitter. I recommend that you follow him due to the fact that he does have a background in programming as well as being a Bitcoin miner himself, and he is plugged into a lot of the high-level Bitcoin activity. If you look at who he works with Jihan Wu, he's connected. He's been to Hong Kong many times. Works with Roger Ver. I know a lot of you guys have your comments about Roger Ver. At the end of the day, the guy's been in it since day one, or since the beginning. And regardless of if you hate him or love him, it doesn't really matter. He's still an influential person in the Bitcoin world. So here's what John McAfee had to say about blockchain and Bitcoin on InfoWars. So let's go ahead and take a look at this.
The entire world, there will be potential users. Now, when I made that prediction, I also predicted that it would be $5,000 before the end of 2017. Well, it almost peaked at $12,000 today. So yes, clearly my assumptions were way off. Now, I will not have to eat that part of my anatomy, I can assure you. I am perfectly safe at $1 million at the end of 2020. See, here's the problem. Everybody is making predictions based on the old paradigm of investment and growth, where 10% is astonishing. But we get 20% a day, consistently sometimes with some cryptocurrencies. Why? Because the supply is limited. We can't print anymore. Like you can print more US dollars, you can print more British pounds, you can print more Japanese yen. You cannot create any more Bitcoins and the maximum of 21 million. Now, if you take 21 million coins, and let's say only half of the world ends up using Bitcoins, well, we've got 2.5 billion people using 21 million coins. Please just use your head. $1 million is nothing in 3 years, if I am correct.
So as John McAfee said, he's one of the first ones to go out there and say that, and many people are following his suit. But there are other people out there who have been saying stuff like this. And here's an older video from Russian news. This is comments made here.
See Bitcoin trading at 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000. Rick Fogvinia does an excellent analysis. He predicts that Bitcoin will capture between 1 and 10% of the global forex market, which implies a price of between $100,000 to $1 million per Bitcoin. Most of the people who are on the sidelines not buying Bitcoin today will start to buy Bitcoin when it gets over 1,000. And then a greater percentage of people will definitely plow into Bitcoin when it starts to get over 10,000.
Still predicting Bitcoin, $10,000 per Bitcoin in 3 years.
So let's make a bold call here. In 10 years, what do you think Bitcoin will be worth? One Bitcoin.
Between $500,000 and market cap of Bitcoin total.
So as you can see, there has been a lot of people who've said that it's going to be worth $500,000 to $1 million. Right now, if we just look at the Bitcoin price, sitting at just under $12,000 per Bitcoin. People are curious: is it time? Is it too late to jump in? Have they missed the boat? And you can see that from 12,000 to a million, or 12,000 to 500,000, there's still a lot of room to grow. Now, bear in mind, they're saying this: you're going to have to be patient and ride the boat till 2020. But this is what they're saying. Now, there's a couple things that you must know about this. So, Bitcoin price might exceed $1 million, more millionaires in the world than Bitcoins. So this talks about the scarcity of the Bitcoin, because they say there's almost 3 to 4 million of these Bitcoins have been lost. So owning just a Bitcoin is a rare commodity, kind of like having gold. It's rare. So authenticity, because it's one of the authentic, it is the first digital currency, So they talk about stuff like this. Then you have some articles where it says Fox News Bitcoin to be worth 1 million or billion a coin, and comment contest. I don't know, but this is a Steemit article. I don't know about $1 billion Bitcoin. I had never heard that. So you will hear some crazy stuff on the lines. And then Bitcoin will hit $1 million in 5 to 10 years, says PayPal director. So even PayPal director is saying this. PayPal is a very trusted financial institution. And then, now, not everything's all peaches and cream, right? So why Bitcoin price will not reach 1 million. You got to know the other side of it. One of the things they talk about here in this article that I've gone over in a couple of my other videos is market capitalization and what it would take for Bitcoin to get to that valuation. Now, Bitcoin, according to Rick Fogvina, he said, and he's one of the main guys behind Bitcoin Cash, he said the reason Bitcoin, there is a cap to how high Bitcoin can go. It cannot exceed the amount of money that actually exists in the world. And I think that number is around 60 trillion. I don't have the exact number, but it's up there around 60 trillion, and you can Google how much money there is in the world. So how much global money supply is there? And yeah, they do keep adding more money into the supply, but if you just look at stuff like this, they talk about how the market capitalization for Goldman Sachs, IBM, Apple, like Apple, for example, right now Apple's at around about $850 billion, maybe more or less, depending on how much the stock rises or recedes. Now, if Bitcoin had a market capitalization of around as much as Apple, or even a $1 trillion market cap, as we spoke about in that previous video, Bitcoin price would be around $45 to $50 million, or $45 to $50,000 per coin. That's just if it caught up to the market capitalization of Apple, or even the $1 trillion mark. And if you look at the Bitcoin price right now, you can see the Bitcoin market cap is closing in on 200 billion. So to say that it won't be able to reach $1 trillion market cap, it's pushing it. I mean, this number just keeps going up. This is the overall market cap for the entire cryptocurrency market. But it's in the last year, when we started the year here, we had the market cap at 14 billion. Right now we're sitting at 356 billion. So you guys see the growth that's happened, and it's only going to continue. Like they were saying in that, I think his name's Max Kaiser. Like Max Kaiser was saying in this video here, he was saying that once Bitcoin goes over $10,000, more and more people will start pouring in. And he was kind of right. There has been a lot of people who've been pouring in after it's eclipsed $10,000. And, we eclipsed $10,000 when we had a $300 billion market cap. And that was just, a week ago? And now we've already grown $56 billion in market capitalization. That's some extreme growth. This is just in 1 month. Look at that. In 1 week, we're at $300 billion in November 27th. We even went below that. November 30th, we were 278 billion when it pulled back, and we're already back up to 356 billion for the market capitalization of the entire market. So that shows you how much money is being injected into this market. In just 1 week, there's been a $50 billion swing. More than that. Just think, guys. Just think what it's going to look like when we start having $100 billion injected into the market weekly or even monthly. If we just have $100 billion injected monthly, which is actually a very, very conservative, low estimate based on what this growth has been looking like, the trend that's going to only continue to pick up. Yeah, I mean, to say that we're going to be at a $1 trillion market cap for cryptocurrency, or even closing in on $1 trillion market cap for Bitcoin in 2018, very realistic. And if you want to say, well, what's it going to take for market cap to get to $1 million Bitcoin, you'd be looking at about a $20 trillion market cap. You can do the full math. I have not done the full math, but a $1 million Bitcoin looks like is going to be about a $20 trillion market cap, maybe a little bit more. All right, that's going to put us right in that range. It's going to come down to the circulating supply at the time of if it gets there, and it's going to come down to just brass tacks, raw numbers. So you guys can see right here. It's right in front of you. Like I'm just doing the presentation, and John McAfee's making the making the bold prediction, but it's right in front of you guys. It's right in front of you. You just have to bust out the calculators and figure it out. But a $1 million Bitcoin, there's going to have to probably be some inflation in the money supply, because if there's $60 trillion just floating around, that would mean that Bitcoin would make up 1/3 of that at 20 trillion to be a $1 million Bitcoin. Unless they start creating more and more money in the so that's one thing that Mike Novogratz said is there's a wave of new money coming. I don't know what he means by new money, but when he says that, to me that means, I don't know exactly what he means, but to me that means there's going to be more money creation. And part of this has to do with more wealth creation, which is going to raise the living standards of people all around the world. You know, there's many developing countries that will see a significant quality of life improvement as the money supply expands, and they're able to participate and get their hands on some of that money supply, like Bitcoin, a global currency. So guys, this is Jeff with Altcoin Buzz. If you enjoy videos like this, you can subscribe to this channel. If you're already subscribed, you can go ahead and click that bell next to subscribe, and you'll be notified when videos like this drop. But at the end of the day, we're talking about John McAfee's comments. You need to go over there and follow John on Twitter, and you need to follow him on YouTube, because he does have some insights and bold predictions that he makes, and a lot of people like him because he's like he's kind of like that guy from the Heineken commercial, or the Dos Equis commercial I meant, where he's like the most interesting man in the world, kind of like you could almost call him a digital mobster. He's like a Don. The digital Don is kind of the way you would refer to him, because of the lifestyle that he's led. You know, he's lived in Latin America, and you know, you can watch some videos on him. But at the end of the day, he's got some very interesting insights, and he's also correct a lot of the times. So this is Jeff with Altcoin Buzz, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you like.